morning. This is my lovely view when I pull my curtains in the morning. I live across the road from a park, so it's just such a beautiful outlook. And then in front of the window is some of my house plants. I have some lovely African violets just starting to flower. And then here are my orchids. I've got a large deep red one, a little miniature pink one, and then this beautiful pure white one. Hello, I thought I'd show you some of my completions and some of the whips that I'm doing at the moment. So the very first, as I said in my last video, I've just been starting some more crochet. It was years ago since I've done some, so I just started off with something really easy. So the first thing I did was just this very straightforward infinity scarf, done with the Karen Cakes latte. Just very straightforward, was double crochets all the way through, and I just did it until I thought it was wide enough and long enough. So I've popped that aside. I think that's going to be a gift. And then I, as I said, I found out that my daughter was having a baby, our first grandchild, so I started off looking for baby patterns, and I got some wool, and I started off looking at doing some 0 to 3 sizes, but as you will see, they've turned out to be quite different in size, so I think I'm going to have to concentrate a bit more on my tension. But the first one I did was this little baby cardie with just a little shell pattern, and it's done with soft as butter wool, so it's got an almost cotton feel to it. So to me that looks more like a 6 to 9 months, not a 0 to 3 months, but it is what it is. So I did that, and that was from the website Crochet and Craft. I'll link it down in the description below. And then, no, that one wasn't. That one was called Baby Crochet, I think, was the website. And then this one was, I did a little hat to go with it. So that looks to me to be quite a tiny wee baby's hat. But again, it was supposed to be 0 to 3. I guess it will stretch on to a tiny baby. So that was done from this website, Craft and Crochet. She has some really good tutorials. And then I also did her Booties. Again, supposed to be 0 to 3 months, but they look huge to me. They look like they're more like a year-old babe. So I'm not sure why they've come out so different, because they're all done with the same wool and the same needle size. So I think in future I'll have to go down a size and to make especially these ones. The next thing I started on was I decided I wanted to do some blankets. I've got a next door neighbour who's also having a baby the month before Carissa is, and then I've also got a couple of nephews that have got partners, and they're starting to settle down and think of babies, so I thought I'd do a few and just have them in hand for gifts, etc. So I started by doing a couple of blankets. Now this one here, it's a very simple pattern, and then it's got a lovely border, a little piqué border around the edge. And I got that one from, it was this off the internet, a free pattern called Orazio Blanket, and it's by Crochet, and it's creation with an 8 instead of an A, and it's this pattern here. I'll also link that down below. It was a really easy pattern where once you got the first couple of rows out the way, it was just a two row repeat, and then it just had a very simple border, but I wanted my border to be slightly wider, so I ended up finding another border. I think I just did a row of single crochets, a row of double crochets, and then I did a row of V stitches, and then some scallop stitches in those, and then just went around and did the picot edging. So I think it's turned out just lovely. The wool is just from one of our department stores. It's called the department store's called Kmart here in New Zealand, and they are in Australia as well, and it was just the Arlo acrylic, so just simple 8-ply acrylic there. And then the second pattern I saw in another craft store that we've got in Australia and New Zealand called Craft, and I saw this lovely wool, and at this point I don't know what sex the baby is, so I thought I'd get some very neutrals, and then it would also, if I don't give them to Carissa, they can be for some of the others for gifts. So this one's just called Baby Blanket by Maker, which is their own home brand. So super soft. It's very much like the Burnett blanket. So I just decided I'd do a chain as wide as I wanted, and then I just ended up using 3 full balls, and then I went into the 4th one just to do the border. So it's very simple, very soft, thick, and so squishy and soft. So it's just straight single crochets, and I just worked my way through all the balls, and then I did a very simple single crochet around the edge just to sort of tidy up the edges. So very soft. I think this will be a great one for either a stroller or laying on the floor for the baby to lie on when it's young. The next crochet I did was I found an amazing site called, let me find my piece of paper, Crochet for Baby, which is where the first jacket came from. And I went and purchased some baby Linecraft Baby Soft acrylic. I think it's just DK. And I bought some blue, some pink and some white, and I'll show you the pink and white one later because that's a work in progress, but this one is a completion. So I did this gorgeous little jacket with a little white yoke and a hood. I'm really pleased how that turned out. It's just lovely. So if it's a boy, she'll be getting that one. And then I've got some sewing completions. So I started off wanting to do some project bags, and I got interested in doing some padded quilting on them. So my first one is this project bag here, and I've got one of my whips in this one, so I'll show you that a bit later. But I just love the fabric, and it's just got a zip top and then some lining, pink little daisy lining inside it, and then the purple on the bottom. And it's just got quilting of just lines, diagonal lines on it. I'm not sure whether you can see that. And a zip on the top, but I think I've got to get better at doing zips. It was a bit tricky. I haven't sewn for years, so it was a bit of a learning curve, this one. So that's a project bag. And then I also, when I was looking for the fabric for that, I saw this fabric and I just loved it. And it's so me because it's vintage and it's Paris and roses. And so I ended up making this tote bag with that. And that one's just got the same lining but in green. Really pretty little daisy. So that'll be a really useful tote bag to go use when I'm out shopping. So I think that's my completions for now. And now I'm going to show you some whips that I've got on the go. So the one in my project bag is another little cardigan from the same website, Crochet for Baby. It's a fabulous website. She's really good at doing tutorials. She walks you right through the whole process, tells you the stitch count after every row. It's really helpful for newbies like me. So I used the Baby Soft for the contrast, and I've got a ball of the white, the same for the cardigan, and the same Baby Soft Lionheart. And this one I've only just so far got the yoke done, and I've just started doing the body part of it. So it's got like these little lovely little frills around the top done in the contrast, and then a lovely sort of scallop which is just done with scallop stitch one row and front and back posts for the second row, so it's quite quick and easy. I'm a crocheter that gets a little bit bored, so I've got quite a few sort of projects on the go and I just alternate between them so I don't get bored that way. So that's that project. Now second one I've got going, which is going to be a very long slow burner, is I'm starting to do a blanket for our lounge, a throw. And so I've started, and I've only got this far so far. I went in and decided to do it chunky wool because I thought it would be that it would grow really quickly, and I decided that I was going to do a sample stitch blanket, just so that I can learn lots of different stitches while I'm in the process of it. So I went on to Crochet with Tiffany Hanson, and was doing a temperature sampler blanket. So I decided I wasn't going to do the temperature part because I wanted to stick to just greys and cream and black in various different colours. So I've started doing some of her stitches as I've gone up. So there's crunch stitch, so granny squares, I can't remember what that bobble one is, but then it's shell stitch, and then I've done some V stitches here, just a row per colour. But what I'm finding, I went and bought $70 worth of wool in the chunky, but the chunky balls only go, like a 50-gram ball only does 2 rows and 100 does 4 rows. So I'm going through the wool like crazy, and it's starting to look like it's going to cost me a fortune. So what I thought I'd do is just use up the balls I've got, and then whenever there's a sale on at any of the wool shops, I'll just go and buy, it's all acrylic in 12 ply, so I'll just go and see what they've got in the right colours, and I'll just, you know, go back to it whenever I get some more wool and just try and do it a little bit more cheaply, because the $70 only bought me 8 balls, and that's not many rows. When because what I hadn't considered was that a 50-gram ball of chunky doesn't have very much meterage, so I'm struggling with that a little bit. With, of course, that makes sense, but you know, working out how far so many meters on a ball goes, and it's something I think I'll learn with experience. But the other thing I'm finding with it is that it varies a lot with, like, one of them is a 4 Seasons Marvel 12 ply, and that's actually really thin. And then I've got a Kmart 12 ply, and that's really thick. So they vary a lot in thickness. I don't know whether you can see that. So this one I've ended up having to do it double to because it's right beside that, and it was looking silly because one was really thin and one was really thick. So I think I'm just going to have to fudge it all the way and try and make it look all right. So yeah, so that's going to be a project I just come back to bit by bit, and eventually I'll have a throw for the lounge. The next project I'm doing is, I had quite a bit of cotton left over from a project of doing washcloths to go with my soap for my business when I had it. So I had a whole lot of different coloured cottons left, so I decided to make one of the little tote bags done with granny squares, the Erica Arndt, A-R-N-D-T. I'll link her website down below as well. She has a really great tutorial. She does each row a different colour, but I decided I just wanted lovely pastel colours. And so I've done how long I want the handles, and now I've just got to go around the rows, widening it. So you go right around, you go up and down and then round and up and down and then round again. So that's all I've got to do to complete it, and then I'll make a lining for the inside. But I'm really pleased with that. It's a lovely little bag. Wasn't sure how big it was going to turn out. And I started off actually doing some squares that had an extra row around it, but I thought it was going to look a little bit too big, so I ended up unpicking those and just doing, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, counting the cream one around the outside. Another thing I wanted to keep you up to date with is my diamond painting. I've got a Christmas one on the go at the moment. So I've got my logbook here, and this is the Christmas one I'm doing. It's called Merry and Bright by Diamond Art Club. and it's a 55 by 75, I think it is, diamond painting. I'm not sure whether you can see that there, but that's a lovely Christmas image. So what I'll do is slot in a video at this point and show you my progress and how it's looking. I'm hoping to be able to finish it by Christmas, and also have it framed, and I'm going to start using it as part of the Christmas decorations, so I get it out every year. Here it is. My last project is a shawl that I've been making. This beautiful shawl here. It's the Lucia shawl by Wilma Westenberg. I'll link her DVD, her YouTube video and her website below. But it's turning out to be just a really lovely design. Not sure that the colour's picking up very well, the really strong purple that's in it. But it's this ball of wool here that I bought. It's called Mauve 100% acrylic. And it's done on 4 needles, but I'm actually doing it on 5 because that's what the pattern suggested, and I wanted it very loose. So that's the design there. And I'm finding the colour throughout the balls working out really well. Like some of the scallops turn out to be the purple, and then it's got these front double crochet and back double crochet stitches which turn out to look nice and kind of stripy, and they're all one colour. But it's starting to, now that it's getting longer, it's starting to not be quite so the same colour all the way along. So it starts, the scallop starts off a blue-green there, and then it turns into more of a purple around here. But I don't think that matters, and in some cases I might do a little bit of colour controlling. But I love how drapey and soft it is, and it's turning out really well. So I've got one more pattern to do, and then it's got a border row which is like a scallop, and then some tassels. So when I finish it I'll show you, or I'll show you the progress next time. But that's knitting up really beautiful. Really pleased with that. It's going to be so soft and comfortable to wear. And then the last thing I thought we might talk about is any purchases that I've done of wool or fabric or anything each month. So this month I did decide to purchase, I'd been watching different hand yarn videos or people using hand yarn videos, so I decided to have a look and see whether there was any in New Zealand that I could purchase, and I found this website here called Lock and Side Alpacas. Oh, you can see that. They look like they are based in Ohaupu. And it's this beautiful hand-dyed yarn called Mermaid with a beautiful turquoise and pink, and it's got some speckles of pink in it, and then it's got some variations of greys. So it's really beautiful, so soft. It says that it's an 85% merino and 15% silk, so that's obviously why it's so soft. Now, as I said before, I'm not sure how far excuse me, how far a skein like this will go. It says there's 400 metres, so I'm not sure whether it would do a shawl or whether it would just do a smallish scarf. But I thought I would like to just do maybe a granny stripe scarf in it, or a shawl. So I thought I needed to get another ball, and so I went to some of the local ball shops here in Nelson, and out at one of our beautiful gift shops that's got a good reputation here in Richmond, called Eyebright, and they have an amazing Christmas displays and giftware and things and decorations to buy. And to the side of that there's a little room called the wool shed that you can buy some beautiful wools. And I took this in, and at first thought I'd just put a cream with it, but the cream was just way too harsh, so the lady in there recommended I get this pearly grey. So I'm going to do one stripe of this and one stripe of the colour, and that way it's consistent all the way through, but then I'll have these different colours as they come off the skein to knit, to crochet. So I think that should work out really well. It's kind of got those greys in it, just here, so I think that should work. So at some stage I'll have a go at starting that, but I'll wait until some of my other baby projects are maybe finished first, and then get started on that, or my other shawl. So I seem to be into shawls at the moment. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say today. It's mid-October 19th. We're in early spring here in New Zealand, and it's just a beautiful day. Slight breeze, but not the howling gale we've been having lately. But yeah, it's just a really beautiful day. It's about 10:30 in the morning. So that's it from me today. I hope I'll get to talk to you sometime next month. We've got a busy weekend coming up this weekend. It's a long weekend called our Labour weekend, Labour Day on Monday, but we've got a market to do on Sunday, which is always a really busy, good market, and that should be our last one for the business. And we'll see how well everything goes, and then probably later in November, once we're going on a holiday in November, but once we're back, we'll put out a closing down sale and start selling off the last of all our products, and then we should have a lot more time to ourselves. So I'll catch you in November, and we should be starting to gear up for Christmas by then. So see you then. Bye. Hello, Bailey. Are you a sleepy girl? You don't like your photo being taken, do you? Or look away.